Right guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2018 career mode. It's a big one, it's my Williams debut. If you did not know how this happened, watch the last episode just up here in the right hand corner of your screen. It's very interesting. I didn't really give any hints away. If you watch to the end, you get rewarded for it sometimes, pretty much. So do check out the last episode to see how it happened. But today we arrive with Williams, and I'm not going to say anything, there is a massive bombshell on the way.
Alright, listen up everyone. They've announced that the technical regulations are changing for next season. Now there's a risk a lot of our hard work could be undone if we're not careful, so let's figure out how to mitigate this. Drivers, take a look at the developments we have and let us know what you want to invest in protecting. Alright everyone, let's get on top of this.
So then, as you can see, regulation change on the way. Now, the department that's affected is durability, which is the least important of the four, but it's still very important because you guys would have noticed this season with the Mercedes, I'm pretty able to do the whole season on the 3 power units. And for example, this Williams car, I think, has done 16 races on the same gearbox. That's how reliable some of these cars are now. So it's all going to get put to zero, and it could really shift. And looking at the R&D tree now, McLaren, for example, have dropped off a lot recently. But that might be because of the regulation change. You never know. They could maybe, saving up some points for the regulation change, and then they're going to really come hard next season with the development. But the development's fierce. The top four starting to break away a little bit. As you can see here, we put on a new engine for this race. This one should last us until the end of the season, hopefully. So we're going to get that on the car, and fingers crossed it all goes according to plan. But yeah. All I'm looking for here basically is maximum power, maximum performance, and hoping for the best, really. We know the job in hand. We're most likely going to be at this car, in this team, until the end of the season. So we need to try and win the championship in the Williams, guys, after Hamilton is now back in Formula 1. Mercedes managed to work it all out, sort out all the contract situations, and basically Hamilton will now be driving for the rest of the season, trying to get a bit of, getting warmed up, getting back to grips with the F1 car, and hopefully he'll be ready to go next season. And the rumour is, according to the paddock and also according to Mercedes, Bottas will make way for me for next season. And I'm going to be Lewis's teammate. That's the aim. That's what Mercedes want, to have the strongest possible lineup, because it's looking like they're going to win both championships and they want to try and retain those next year. But as you can see, we jump into qualifying, and the first of 3 runs in this session. Now, first one on these super soft compound tyres, as you'd expect. Pretty standard lap time, to be honest. I'm just trying to get a feel for it. And to be fair, I've got to say, the Williams car feels great. I really enjoy the Williams. It's not fast, but when you're driving it feels good. Like I've got confidence in the car to attack the racetrack and just generally push for a good lap. Now, our first lap was not spectacular in terms of what the lap time meant. It felt good, but it wasn't great. We dropped down to last place. Stroll was even faster than me. On my second attempt, we are improving now by quite a bit here, and we're looking on for an improvement as we now go into the final couple of corners. And to be fair, this lap right here, my second attempt, I thought, you know what, this lap is perfect. There is no way we're going to improve. But then I did my last lap, and to be fair, I surprised myself how good this lap was. So we're going to run on board now for a whole lap of the Suzuka circuit, one of the best tracks in the calendar, and let's see how we get on. First of all, turns 1 and 2, you want to turn in at the 50-meter board and really want to focus on that second apex to bring the nose in. Focus on your exit. I missed the apex slightly through turn 2 as we now go up through 3, 4, 5 and 6, which is all the S section curves, and it's all about momentum through here, flowing the car and keeping the car nice and tight to the inside lines as we now go up through the Dunlop curve, the left hand up the hill, running flat out through there, and now we look for the Degner 1, and it's pretty much, you got to just throw the car in there and hope for the best. Then Degner 2 really attack that inside curb. I run a little bit wide, lose a little bit of momentum on the exit, and I kind of throw away my advantage up until that point as we now go into the hairpin, down to second gear, and really get that nose rotated, and it's a really good lap so far, nice and clean. I definitely left about a tenth or two on the table with the mistake through turn 2 by missing my apex, and also through Degner 2. But we're still on for an improvement here as we now go into spoon, 50-meter board, turn in, go down a couple of gears, and basically keep the car nice and tight to the inside as you get on the power super early on the exit out of spoon curve. And now it's all about straight line speed, using some overtake ERS for once, because ERS doesn't get used that much around here. And then back down to hot lap, or back up to hot lap, should I say, because we are marginal on the white bar in the bottom left. But as you can see, we're on for a big improvement here. Final chicane, little lock up on the right front. We still managed to just about salvage it though and keep it together. And we're on for a decent improvement here. We're currently last. Do we improve? Up to the line, and it's going to be P19, I believe. And we only gain 1 more place. But I genuinely was quite happy with the lap time, to be honest with you. And there was some time in that, not a hell of a lot. I reckon there was about 2 3/10, and that maybe would have got us P15, maybe P14, somewhere around there. But all in all, a decent qualifying session. I was quite happy with the lap, and for my first qualifying, we out-qualified Stroll, which is also a good positive. And all in all, we're going to start from the last row, but hopefully we can make something happen tomorrow on the strategy. With that being said, it's time for the Japanese Grand Prix.
And a very warm welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix, an event that has decided a Drivers' Championship 11 times over the years and has hosted some very memorable races as well. Who can forget Kimi Raikkonen's win from 17th on the grid in 2005, or Kamui Kobayashi's incredible drive to a podium in 2012. A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles, and it's the only time during the season that we race on a figure-of-8 racetrack. The drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar, and keep an eye out for overtakes going into the final chicane. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Martinez. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Hülkenberg, Kimi Raikkonen and Perez, Bottas, Ocon, Alonso and Marcus Ericsson, Ricciardo, Gasly, Max Verstappen and Van Dorn, Hartley, Magnussen, Carlos Sainz and Romain Grosjean. Martinez and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, here we are then on the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix. P19, no penalties for anybody, and it's going to be an interesting race. We start from the last row on the grid and pretty much nothing to lose. Now, in terms of the strategy for today's race, we are going to go for the one stop with the softs onto the mediums. It's important on lap 1 that we really try and get as many places as possible. The further up we go, the better, especially racing with those who are going to be on the same strategy as us. And I do think that we can score points today. I do think it's on the table. I feel confident with the car, which is the main thing. I feel happy driving it. It feels good, actually, even though it's the worst car on the grid, which is quite surprising. And that gives me confidence I can do a good job. Based off of practice, tire temperatures are pretty good, under control. They were sort of hanging around 102 really, and I kind of found a sweet spot in terms of driving. So all in all, I've got reasons to be confident, even though P90 on the grid doesn't really say that much. But let's see what happens. Also, in this race, we've got 2 upgrades on the way for the next race, along with a potential third one for the aero. So this car's going to keep getting better and better very quickly. So yeah, I'm excited, and I think we can do a good job here. And I still think we can keep our championship alive. We've got that nice 80-point cushion, so I think it's pretty reasonable to keep that one alive. All we've got to do is score points pretty much in every single race. But all in all, enough rambling. Let's just jump into it here at Japan. Let's see what happens. No rain expected, overcast throughout the entire race. It's time for round number 17 for the Japanese Grand Prix. Let's go. Right then, here we go. We're going to get ready for the 5 red lights here at Suzuka. Let's try and get a good start if we can. Lights are on, and they are off. And away we go. Not a terrible start. We actually get a much better start than my teammate Lance Stroll. As we go down to turn 1 for the first time. Stroll coming at me around the outside. Into turns 1 and 2. Down the inside of Carlos Sainz here. Trying to get that position on the Renault. We get past him, which is good. As we now go into the S's for the first time. Not used to being this far down the grid, so we've got to be careful with the AI's shenanigans. Both Haas cars going side by side here. As Grosjean tries to get past Magnussen. We lock up a little bit. Mid-corner there, a bit of a surprising lock-up as Sainz goes around my outside. Side by side here with the Renault. He's on super soft, so he's going to have a little more pace than me. And we know that car is faster. Sainz makes the move though. He puts himself on the back foot. We go for the switch back down the inside into Degner 2. Going to put him on the outside there, squeeze him off a little bit. As we go into the hairpin for the first time. Down the inside of both Haas cars. We're going to cash in on the fact that AI goes single file through there. And we're up into 16th place. I can already tell we are pretty bad for straight line speed around here, which is obviously to be expected. This is the worst engine on the grid, so we're going to have to get used to it as we get past Grosjean there. But let's see if we can keep up with the race pace. That's the main thing. Everyone in front of us is going to be on softs. We've got a nice gap in front of us. We need to try and make use of it. Here comes Grosjean again. He's going to go to the right-hand side. I'm in rich mix and overtake ERS here, so not much more I can do as we go through 130R. I've just put Grosjean off a little bit. Squeeze him off enough to stop him from going too wide as I take out that bollard. But all in all, lap 1 is in the books. A successful opening lap. But let's see if we can go forwards and not backwards in this race. That'd be nice. I wonder if we can make some more moves into the hairpin here. Maybe on Brennan Hartley. There we go, down the inside. It's a late one. AI going very slow. I think there's a slow moving car in the form of maybe a Force India. I'm not really sure. Actually, no, I think it might be Alonso who's going slow in front. So that's going to provide the opportunity for an overtake, hopefully. But we're now up into P15. Making good progress here. Got both of the Red Bulls in this trim, which is quite amazing. Right into the hairpin again. Down the inside of Van Dorn, maybe. Yes, we do. From absolutely miles back, but we make it work. Looks like it's Red Bull versus McLaren here in this little battle, which Alonso is currently leading. If we can get to the front of this train, we'll have some clean air. We shouldn't get attacked from no one in terms of straight lines. So that's what I want to kind of look for. Alonso runs a little bit deep into the second half of Spoon. That's going to put him on the back foot. Van Dorn isn't close enough to challenge me. And look at this, the Red Bull's getting past Alonso here. Both Verstappen and Ricciardo making the move. Bit of contact there. Alonso comes out with a short straw. Yellow flag zone. We're going to have to get out of the overtake. And there is Ocon, who's going slow. We can't get past Alonso though, unfortunately. Now we're into the green flag zone. But Ocon there was off the track. Not sure what happened. Let's try and stay in front of Van Dorn if we can here on the straight. There we go. Right. Now let's try and get past Fernando Alonso, who's definitely struggling in that McLaren because he's normally never this low down. I wonder if maybe in the S's we can get past. He's definitely struggling for cornering, so maybe he's missing a bit of end plate. I'm not sure, but we're going to go on the outside. There it is, a bit of end plate on the right front for Alonso. We slip through and we are up into P12 now, so we are making progress here. We're still on the soft compound tyre, so we're doing good. There's a train of cars going up into the hairpin there, you can see. So we're looking okay at the moment. We need to make sure we keep this pace up. If we can keep up with the Red Bulls, that'd be fantastic. You can see the tyre temperatures, they're all pretty equally worn. 101 on the left front and the right rear, 102 on the left rear. That's the one that's suffering a little bit more, but generally it's looking pretty good, which is what I want. So yeah, no complaints on my end. Just trying to manage the pace now and making sure we get the moves done. Hartley now has gotten past Alonso, so he's going to be the guy that's trying to chase me down. Hartley's all over me here. He's much faster than that Toro Rosso. Not so much through the corners, but just because of his straight line speed power. So we're not going to fight him. We're going to let him go. Personal best from me. I'm just going to try and follow him. But look at the speed difference. You can see we need to do some work on the straights with this car in what's left of the season. But let's try and follow him. Hopefully he can drag me towards them Red Bulls. Hartley's already got out of the DRS, and watching it and seeing it unfold, I lose so much time on the straights is unbelievable. Like, it's so much time on the straights. Right, cars in the pit lane. The first of the super soft runners who have had enough of their tyres. Vettel and Bottas being the main ones. We're going to rejoin just in front of Sebastian Vettel, but he's going to be on the back of me pretty soon. One of my championship rivals, so if we can keep him behind, that'd be great. Right, Sebastian's probably going to pass me here. I don't want to fight it too hard. Hopefully he can get the job done before the brake zone. There we go. We won't lose much time. And again, hopefully he can drag me towards Hartley. I'm not that much slower than Hartley. I'm basically losing literally everything on the straights. I'm actually faster through the corners. Therefore, in the next lap, I'm going to go down a little bit on the front wing, down to level 4, try and get myself a little bit more straight line speed. And I'm trying to maintain DRS with Vettel here if I can. More cars in the pit lane here. We're going to get a couple more places and jump up into the top 10. Hulkenberg and Raikkonen this time in the pit lane. Starting to really struggle now, my tyres. Here comes Stoffel Van Dorn. Not much I can do, cars in the pit lane. I'm going to try and get Van Dorn slipstream, but he's faster than me. Not necessarily on the straights. That McLaren's actually pretty good for the corners. It's the best car when it comes to the aero, and you can notice it. But yeah, unfortunately, we just ain't got the pace. I reckon I can keep up with him though, because I'll have DRS on him for a change. I reckon that will allow me to keep up. Right, we've got Charles Leclerc company here. The Sauber, which is, along with the Force India, in my opinion, the most OP rocket ship on the straight. And there you go, look at that. Look at that car go. Just going to try and follow Leclerc. Hopefully I can get a little bit of a tow. And also hopefully he will catch up to Van Dorn for me. We're scheduled to come in next lap as I pick up my second warning there for track limits. Got to be careful now, very careful. Right then, here we are, lap 12 now. We're scheduled to come in this lap. I think Bottas is going to make the pass as well. There we go, through there. Gonna let him go, my former teammate. Let's try and stick with him. We're scheduled to come in, so don't want to make any mistakes. Let's try and max out the straight line speed if we can. Magnussen behind, lurking. I'm getting a tow from Bottas though, which is keeping me in front.
Some information on Van Dorn. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Okay, Van Dorn with car issues. That's good news for me in terms of my battle for the low end points. We're going to come to the pit lane, as does Van Dorn. Everyone else on the one stopper in the pit lane as well. Let's get it all slowed down. There we go. Right. Let's see what happens here then. This is going to be quite interesting. Need a good start from the boys. First pit stop in the Williams team. Oh, that is great. 1.9. What a stop. We're going to rejoin in front of Magnussen still. We're going to stay in front, but Van Dorn's going to be in trouble now. So this is going to be our chance to try and catch up with him and try and pass him and hopefully shake off Magnussen as well. No more pit stop scheduled this race. I think we are going to need, though, a little bit of a miracle in terms of safety car, VSC, or something to happen. A crash, maybe, or a couple of DNFs to give us a chance of getting to the points, though. Right, here we go. We're going to try and make a move on Van Dorn here. I'm going to sit back for now. Through 130, I'm going to try and pick up the DRS if I can. Down the inside into the chicane. Good stuff. A little bit of a corner cut, but we make it work. And I'm going to pick up the DRS. Let's try and pull away now if we can. Magnussen's going to make the move. There's Grosjean in the pit lane, so we're going to get promoted into P14. But after this, we're going to need a bit of a miracle now to try and find any more positions in this race, I think. I'm not sure if anyone's still yet to pit. We'll find out very shortly, but for now, it's P14 in the Japanese Grand Prix. Pretty decent lap. Personal best, 129.2. Pretty decent lap. We've kept Magnussen out of DRS, which is what I wanted, so it's worked out okay. We seem to have pace over the Haas, which is good. But do we have pace over anybody else? Still a long way to go in this race, so you never know. Anything could still happen. Right, we've got Carlos Sainz in the pit lane. Obviously 2 stopping, so that's going to promote us into P13. I reckon that might be it though for the 2 stoppers. Bottas in front. I wonder if we can do anything else this race, or is P13 going to be all she wrote for the Japanese Grand Prix? Okay, now we've got Nico Hülkenberg in the pit lane here. So we're going to gain another place. Here comes Magnussen. He's lurking. We're going to go defensive slightly into turn 1. I was in medium ERS that lap. That's why Magnussen closed up. I'm trying to save a little bit of ERS to get back on target. But we're now P12. And we're going to start forming a train behind us, I think. Well, I'm going to be on the back foot here. Here comes Magnussen with DRS. Hülkenberg lurking in the distance. We're going to go defensive into turn 1. Magnussen around the outside. Doesn't quite work out for him. We show him the long way round. And he can't quite make the overtake for now. Oof, back and getting loose there. Got to be careful. Again, we're going to be tested here on the straight. Here comes Magnussen. We're going to cover the inside. He's going to get well alongside, but he doesn't quite have the speed to get the job done. We're holding it on the inside line. Little screen freeze there, just kind of set me back a little bit, but we managed to stay in front and we hold on to this position for a little bit longer. Oh, safety car deployed. That's come out of nowhere. Yes, please. That's a game changer for us. Right then, do we come in? Do I take this chance? There's the position gain. I'm not sure who we overtook or what happened, but we've got it anyway. I'm going to stay out. Sergio Perez is out, my championship rival. Interesting. So we're now P11 on the cusp of points, but I'm going to stay out because track position. I'm literally 1 position off of a top 10 finish. So I'm going to stay out. My tyres are good, and this gives me a chance to save some fuel so I can basically run rich mix to the flag, which is what I want to do. So I'm at max power basically. So I'm going to stay out. My tyres still feel fine. I still think I can compete. And if I get another sniff at Brendan Hartley, who's the guy in front, I reckon we can score points. So let's do this. Now I'm kind of hoping Perez got crashed out and didn't actually retire, because if he got crashed out, he may have had contact with someone and they might have lost a bit of front wing, which might cause a bit of chaos. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. I'm just hoping it's not an engine retirement. I want to say it was a crash because it came out of nowhere. There was no yellow flag, no green flag. I saw nothing on the mini-map. it was a very out of nowhere incident. So I want to say there's been a crash at 130R. That's my guess. So Perez was battling with someone, a little bit side by side, a little bit of a contact, and Perez has lost. So I reckon my guess would be someone might have damage in that top 10. Right then, here we go. It's time for the restart. The safety car coming in this lap. Where already temperatures look good. There's debris on the left hand side there, which does suggest Perez had a crash, which is interesting. So let's see what happens here. Right then, prepare to go racing, and there we go, green flag. Time for the restart. Let's try and be good if we can. Try and get a good bit of acceleration. There we go. It's not too shabby. Magnussen will be on me though. He's going to be at full power in the Haas, so we need to go defensive. Here we go to the inside. Hulkenberg looking for the move, making it 3 wide. Oh my days, that was scary. But we held on. I need to try and find my pace quick and try and leave these guys behind. I have to. I just can't afford to be careful on the tyres. I need to take risks. Points are right there, and I want to take them home. Okay, looks like Magnussen battled with Hulkenberg on that lap, which has allowed me to really break away, so we can now focus on attacking and not defending. Here we go. Let's make something happen if we can. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm trying my hardest. The battling behind is continuing. Unless someone has a penalty or there's a bit of battling now because DRS is enabled, then I might get a chance. But if not, it's going to be P11 for us in this race. Here we go then, final couple of corners. Trying to do whatever we can through here, hoping something happens. Final corner, there we go, on the power. Hopefully someone will have a penalty, you never know, across the line. And it's going to be P11. Unfortunately, miss out on points by a position, which is very unfortunate, but still a good race from 19th to 11th. Decent recovery drive. So looking at the final race results, my replacement Lewis Hamilton wins at Suzuka, which I do not mind. It does me a favour because it keeps Mercedes at the sharp end of the constructors, and also it means obviously if Lewis is scoring good points, then Sebastian and Perez can't score them. So as you can see, Hamilton first, Leclerc second, Ericsson third, and then we've got Ricciardo, Bottas, Hartley and Sebastian Vettel P7. Now you can see on his name he's got a 5-second time penalty, and I wonder if he tagged with Perez. I'll find out now when I watch the replay. But if you take away the 5.9 seconds, you take away 5 seconds off of that, Vettel should have finished third today. So it goes to show how much that penalty hurt him. Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly and Kimi Raikkonen ran off the top 10. We miss out on the point, but all in all it's not that bad because generally we lost no points to Perez and we lost just a couple of points to Vettel, 6 points to be exact. So in terms of the driver standings, what that means is that we're still top by 79 points, and that is 1 race less in terms of us getting closer to our championship goal. In terms of the constructors though, as you can see, we are currently bottom with Williams, unfortunately still on 1 point. Mercedes lead the way by 148 and they're very close to wrapping it up, which is good to see. But hopefully we've got a big flow of upgrades and hopefully a massive upgrade package for the next race in Austin, Texas. So let's just get into the laptop and let's see what we can do after this race.
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? What triggered your move to a new team? You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you? Great. Well, that's everything.
Right then, so here we are on the laptop. Now we have 895 points to spend, so I reckon we might be able to get away with a double upgrade. First of all, we're going to get the one for the error which failed for this race, which should arrive in the next race in USA, and we have 553 points. Can we afford? No, we can't afford. I was trying to get that one there, which is 574, but it's not enough, and then the others are going to be impossible. I think I'm going to check over to the engine side, and that one's 700, so yeah, we can't afford it, unfortunately, but we are going to sit on 553 points come the start of the next episode. However, it does mean you can see we have 3 upgrades on the way, and hopefully it should help us out. They're both for tyre wear, which is quite interesting, because tyre wear is not a major concern of mine, but still, it should help us out, hopefully make our strategy a little bit easier. And in terms of the performance, you can see there at the bottom, we should draw level with Toro Rosso if all goes well. But hopefully, those upgrades do arrive, and we can try and be a little bit quicker in the next race in USA, and once again, put some more upgrades on the car. But all in all, that race worked out perfectly with Perez and Vettel. We kept our lead, and all in all, it worked out beautifully. But if you guys did enjoy this episode of Creamer, then please do drop a like on the video. Also, do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss a single upload from me. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.